Hey everybody, welcome back to Team Stitch and Scents. Today we're going to talk about fundraisers. Now, if you're not a consultant and this does not interest you, you probably don't want to listen to this. If you have a team or an organization and you need a fundraiser done, you may want to think about contacting me, because I do fundraisers for teams and organizations, and you can come out pretty good on them. But if you're a consultant, and even if you're not with Scentsy Family and your company allows you to do fundraisers, this is probably some good information for you. Now, when I was at Spring Sprint in North Carolina, I was on a panel. It was a question and answer panel, and there was a lady in the audience that talked about doing fundraisers, and she really had some great information. Now, traditionally, when we think fundraiser, we think, okay, we're going to hand out catalogs to everybody. We do have what they call like showcase brochures for fundraising. So they're not the big full-size ones like this. They're smaller. But, you know, the price is a little cheaper, but there's still cost involved, obviously. And you're going to need envelopes, fundraising envelopes, and you're going to need order forms. So, you know, there's expense when you're doing a traditional fundraiser, obviously. Now, in some cases, when we're talking like for a school, cheerleading squad, you know, scouts, something like that, you're definitely going to have to probably go that route. There's not going to be any other way that they're going to want to do it, which is fine. Just know there is expense and there is time and a lot of energy involved in doing some of these fundraisers. Some of them can get pretty big. I suggest don't go into like your elementary school or middle school or high school and volunteer to do a fundraiser for the whole school. You will kill yourself trying to do it. You might be able to get by, but you probably will never want to do another one again. If you are doing a traditional fundraiser, you take those costs into consideration when you are offering whatever percentage you're giving them. Now with Scentsy, it's out of our commission. Scentsy's not giving the group or organization or whatever the money. It is out of our commission. So if you're offering like 50%, you aren't going to get that much money. You know what I'm saying? You could say that you're offering 50% of your commission. That would be fine, but you cannot, be sure what you're offering and don't overoffer. Don't overoffer just to get that fundraiser, because in the long run, it's going to kill you. And remember, again, you're going to have to take into consideration that you're going to have paper supplies and things like that. And that might be something that you write into your fundraiser contract, basically saying, okay, I'm going to give you 25%, but this much is coming off for supplies. So that might be a thought. But remember, and just take that stuff into consideration. Online, on our workstations, and I think all over the place, there are different places that you can get fundraiser contracts. I highly, highly, highly suggest you get one of those in place, especially for these big fundraisers like that. You need something like that. You don't want to do just verbal, because that can get sticky really fast. Also, if you're doing a traditional fundraiser, you need to find out, okay, let's say you're doing it for the cheerleading squad, and there's 20 girls in there. You give them all their packets. Now, who's going to sort these orders and pack them up? If it's only 20 girls, there could be, potentially each girl could have $500 in orders or more. So you're talking a lot of supplies, of products coming in. Are they going to help you sort them? Are they going to help you label things? And are they going to, obviously they're the ones that are going to deliver the products, but are they going to be there to help you get that sorted out? Because again, that's something. Now, obviously, if you're working with a group of preschool, or you're doing it for like a preschool or elementary school, you probably don't want those kids helping you. Maybe labeling bars, but that would be it. Again, that's going to be more like babysitting. So maybe the parents are going to help then, whatever. But you need to find out, because I know even just getting in a $5,000–6,000 order, there's a lot of work of going through all that stuff. Because for me, I go through everything. I make sure there's nothing broken. I label everything, because if you hand that out and there's not a label on it, it's gone. And if they don't know who it came from, they're going to just go on to Scentsy.com and punch in and try to find whoever, and it may not be you. And you're going to lose that potential customer right there. You gave your part of your commission so that you can get that customer. So you don't be lazy on it, and make sure you label everything. Check everything. Make sure, because sometimes bulbs don't get put in with warmers, things like that. Make sure they're all there. And I always label everything. Even the bottom of my warmers have my label, so that way they can contact me if they need bulbs or anything like that. So be sure that you do all that. Remember, doing a traditional fundraiser, there's a lot of work involved. It can be very, very rewarding. You can get quite a few customers out of it. But again, you need to be on top of things. Make sure when they fill out those order forms that they're getting all the information so that you can follow up with people. Because you may want to follow up, especially if somebody gave a really good order and they've got, you know, a bundle of like 2 warmers, bars, things like that. You may want to call in a couple weeks and just say, hey, how is that working for you? Are you loving the scents you picked out? You know, stuff like that. You don't want to leave those hanging, because some of them will get a hold of you, but there's more likely than not they're just going to go on to, if they find somebody, oh, hey, I ordered this stuff, and if you follow up, it's always in the follow-up. You need to do that. Okay, so we've talked about doing a traditional fundraiser. Again, you need to have the paper supplies. You need to pack and sort these orders. And, you know, you need to label everything, stuff like that. Have a contract in place. Again, there is so many customers you can gain on doing these. And just remember, especially with Scentsy Family, you are the one giving your commission. So obviously, you're not going to give it till the following month because you're not getting paid. Make sure that's in the contract as well, so that they know that that's what's going to happen. Now, when we were in North Carolina, this lady talked about doing just basically all online fundraisers. And I thought, well, how well could that really work? And it worked out wonderfully for her. And there are so many opportunities for an online fundraiser. Plus, the amount of work is like cut down to almost nothing. You don't have to worry about supplies. You don't have to send out catalogs, you know, order forms, anything like that. There are so many groups out there that really could use a little extra money. And I got to tell you, if you come across some, and you know, there's a lot of us that have liked pages. I know there's ones that are on that I liked, you know, where they're babies that have you know, all kinds of different issues of medical issues, things like that. Friends and family that have had cancer, stuff like that. I mean, there's just so many different ones that they're individual fundraisers, more or less, and they really could use the money. And a lot of times people don't look at that. And those people can have huge followings on Facebook. And there's that whole huge extra area of, you know, option not to only just to help these ones, because individual people, they're not going to get as much help for fundraiser stuff through, and they're not going to get I guess what I would say is like any help from any major kind of companies, things like that. They don't get that. If it's an individual, they're really limited. So for us, that's something that we can do to help them, and they can help us, because you're going to reach a lot more customers than you thought you could ever reach, and it's actually a lot more simple. Now, with all fundraisers, there has to be a give and take, and I've done fundraisers in the past where they have not done hardly anything. Absolutely nothing, because the person that was on the other end, you know, that was the head of the coordinator of the fundraiser, didn't do anything. They expected me to do everything. Sorry, but I can't get a hold of your friends and your family and anybody else. You need to do that. So if you have somebody that wants a fundraiser but they don't want to do anything, don't do it. It is not worth your time, even if it's an online fundraiser. They have to have some commitment. If they don't have commitment, it's not going to go well. And then they're going to get angry with you because, oh my gosh, their fundraiser didn't go well. For me, it was lucky. It really wasn't that big of a deal. I promoted it myself and put in how much work. Just basically so they could get the money. I mean, it was kind of ridiculous. So definitely, if you have somebody that wants to have a fundraiser with you, individual, school, even traditional ones, they have to be involved. They're the ones getting the money out of this more than you are. So they need to be involved. So that I just wanted to make sure that was clear. But with these online fundraisers, seriously, it's so much easier. You set up an event on Facebook for them. You can also go ahead and set up a Pinterest board for them. You know, pin some things on there and lead them to that. Have them posting on their fan page about it, because if they don't post, guess what? You're not going to get the sales. Even if you have just a fan page or an event set up, that's not enough. They've got to get those people to see this, because a lot of people don't see the invitations for stuff like that on Facebook. So unless they are really posting on their fan page, it's not going to come out as good. Obviously, they could make you a temporary administrator so that you could post on the fan page. A lot of them would not want to do that. I can completely understand that. If it's somebody you know personally, though, and you're doing it for them, somebody that, has had cancer or something on that line, and you're friends with them or your family, they, I would think, would not have an issue with you just having, a temporary thing on there. You can always suggest it if they're thinking it's too much for them to be posting all the time. If not, they're not going to do as well, and definitely they need to post about it. This lady, though, you figure all of these orders you set up on your website, your personal website, and you're going to have a personal website. If you want to do online fundraisers, obviously you're going to need one. It is really the best $10 through Scentsy you're going to spend. I know people don't always have them, but it's really, really a good thing. But like I said, go ahead, get that set up on there. Make sure they have they know where to be clicking so that it gets attached to that fundraiser. And people just order. I mean, they don't have to worry about, obviously they're going to have to pay some shipping, but a lot of cases, these people are all over the U.S. and sometimes all over the world. So really, you wouldn't want all the orders to be going to one place anyway. I mean, you definitely want to have them pay for their own shipping, attach it. Then you're not having to deal with it. The only bad thing about that is that your information is not on it. For me, I go ahead and I would mail them a card, and I would send a couple of my labels along and just say, hey, stick this in the bottom of your warmer or whatever they might have purchased, just so that they can get a hold of me if they need anything. And a thank you, the whole works. You definitely want to do that. Again, the whole thing about this is following up with these potential customers so that you are going to get a bigger customer base out of this. And who knows, I mean, maybe even some team members out of it. That's very much possible. But I really love the idea of getting these online fundraisers. Now, I am not saying go out there and like all kinds of pages of sick babies or people, whatever, and then ask them to do a fundraiser. That's kind of tacky. If you want to do that and you're friends with some, if you already liked some pages, that's great. If you're liking new pages, that's awesome. But interact with them some before you offer, because first of all, you don't know. You may be like the 18th, 20th Scentsy person or whatever to offer to do a fundraiser for them. They may already have had one with friends or family. So kind of check things out. I mean, it really is very tacky to go ahead and just offer to somebody that you just like searched, found, and liked their page. I mean, that's probably a little, but definitely do a little bit of research on it. Follow them a little bit and see what's what. And if you see that they're mentioning, oh my gosh, they need this or they need that or different things, you might want to say, you could set up a fundraiser through me and this is how it's done. There, you probably wouldn't have a contract. You could do it, you would have your chat information, so that's always there in Facebook, and that should be good enough. Again, you offer what you want to offer. For me, it just depends on who it is. If it's somebody that I know personally, I'm going to offer them more than it's somebody that I don't know at all, because I am still mailing out thank yous and things like that. And you're still kind of doing the work in with it too. So definitely that's totally your choice. I know for me, you know, it really just depends on the thing, but I generally offer 25% or more, and that again is my choice. It of my and that's not of my commission, but that's of the sales, because it just depends on where you fall in the commission lines as far as I'm talking with Scentsy. So I mean, definitely there's just so many opportunities out there. Really look into it. I love the idea, like I said, of doing these online fundraisers. For me, that says, wow, you know, it's a lot easier to do than having to try to get all these orders put together. You can leave it up for a couple months too. I'd do 2 at the very most. Generally, 4 to 6 weeks is generally long enough. After that, it's just going to kind of get stupid, and people aren't going to do much with it. Then when you close out, I usually will keep the hostess credits and half-priced items. Now, generally, for the person or whoever that you're doing the fundraiser for, I like to send them a gift. And usually what I will do is use that perpetual party reward and send them a half-priced item of something. And that's always nice. I mean, in our catalog, I know for Scentsy, we have the ones where you can get the warmer and 3 bars, and you can do that as it. If it's for a child, do Buddy. You know, find out what kind of scent they would like, you know, and then send a thank you to them, obviously, stuff like that. You could give them the hostess rewards if you want to. That's completely up to you. For me, again, it would just depend. Most times, I guess I would just do the one perpetual, because that you can have, and especially if they're not local to you, you can have that sent right to them. So that's not even an issue. This way, you know, they're getting something. And then make sure, and this is with a traditional online, any kind of fundraiser, when you get paid and you transfer that money to your account, get that check sent out right away. Within a week of being paid, that check should be in the mail to whoever it's going to, or if you're going to drop it off if it's local, whatever. And there should be a thank you in there, and you know, whatever, but you need to have a nice thank you note in there, and you know, saying thank you so much for letting me do this. Obviously you want to go ahead and, you know, let them know if you want to. Obviously it didn't go that great, you may not want to offer to do another one in the future, but whatever you want to say. But within a week, get that check out, because nothing looks more, you know, that looks terrible if they got to contact you to get their fundraiser money. And I always go ahead and I have a spreadsheet that I do out where everybody's order is, because sometimes people think, oh, well, this person ordered and their order was like $58 and something. Well, in truth be told, their order was like $47 or whatever. There was shipping and there was tax. They don't get paid their percentage on the shipping and tax. So I have everything written out, what their total of their order was, what the shipping and tax was. So, and they must know that they're not getting paid on that shipping and tax. And I put that all down, and I have everything written out, so that way I also print it off right from my workstation, so I can show this is who ordered from your party. If somebody else ordered and it didn't get attached, and if let's say it was just a random and it didn't get attached to any party, I include it, because I'm getting paid on it. I don't care. If I missed out on a few hostess rewards, I'm not going to worry about it. But if it got attached to another hostess's party, and it's so hard to figure all that out. I mean, I guess I probably would pay them for it, but generally I try to make sure that they attach it to the correct location, because that gets to be kind of a pain in the butt. If it got attached to another fundraiser that I might have had going on, and I'm printing this out, I don't know. I don't think I would. I would just be like, they attached it to the wrong one and this person got paid for it. But either way, you know, that's completely up to you. I try to be completely 100% fair with them, because I don't want them to be like, oh, great, you know, she's going to rip me off or anything like that. I definitely like to make sure that they're happy, I'm happy, and it's all good. So I think this is about it, you know, that I have for you. Like I said, follow up, follow up, follow up with those people that you get. Make sure you get all their information. That's the nice thing about the online fundraiser. All their info is there. There's phone, email, everything's on there. So you can go ahead and, I mean, you can friend them on Facebook because they're obviously on that Facebook group, you know, page. So you can look them up there. And if they don't want to be friended, or you can even send them a message saying, hey, friend me on Facebook if you want to. Some people don't want to, and Facebook gets very angry with you if you friend too many people and they ignore your emails or your Facebook requests, because they can get nasty with you. Oh, also, if you're doing it as an online thing, be posting on there every time someone orders from that fundraiser. You go on there and thank them. That is huge. You need to be thanking them immediately. I mean, within that day or two, obviously, but you want, as soon as you see it, go on there. It takes only a couple seconds and thank them and say, hey, thank you for ordering from, you know, Baby Jane's fundraiser. This is so awesome. I'm sure this is going to help her so much go to Disney World or whatever it happens to be. But definitely get on there and thank them right away, because other people are going to see that and they're going to be like, people like to be thanked. They like to be told that they did a good thing, and you'll get more orders that way. So that's my advice. Again, I thought, you know, this is really, really, I love the online idea. I'm going to be looking into that more myself, because I really think not only is it helping those people, especially a lot of those individuals that could really, really, really use the extra money, it's helping us too. And so that it's kind of one of those things where you know, we work hand in hand, and it'll work out great for everybody. So if you have any ideas on fundraisers, please let me know. My information is always below, and please feel free to friend me on Facebook or email me if you've got any thoughts. I'd love to hear them. But that's all I have for today. So until next time.